Hey everybody, Dr. Joel Glenn Wixon here with another 7 Billion Geniuses video, and the fourth in the series of the 7 Billion Geniuses music metaphor that I'm using to talk about some of the ideas that are very near and dear to me in the context of how I live my life and what I talk about in the book. And today we're going to be talking about something that's known variably as failing big or loving to mess up. It's not generally the term that's used. Love to suck is what generally people talk about. And as the computer's warming up, I'm going to do a little bit of warming up and then come back and talk to you about how this idea of being willing to mess up is possibly one of the most valuable ideas that I've encountered in my own life. Hey everybody, welcome back, and welcome back to the 7 Billion Geniuses recording studio. I'm here working on a brand new song, and I sung it for the first time yesterday. And the reason why I'm using this as an example is because I'm having trouble figuring out how to sing it, and so I'm singing it pretty poorly. And the point of using this as an example of 7 Billion Geniuses ideas is that in order for me to actually sing it the way I want to sing it, in a way that I'm going to be psyched about, I have to sing it really badly, really wrong, many times. And if I were to not be willing to go through that process, I'd never figure out how to sing it the way that I want to sing it. And so you can take that up as a metaphor for living as well, where, you know, if you're not willing to try something that's sort of outside the range of what's possible for you, just barely outside the range, sort of possible but not yet known, as we talk about in narrative work, then you're limited to kind of staying in that completely familiar territory that doesn't really challenge you to expand in any way. So I'm still just checking in right now, still figuring out how to play the song, and I'll be back in a moment after I'm a little bit clearer on exactly how it goes. And in a position to start to show you guys how I'm singing it at this point. So I'll be right back. So the part that I'm really struggling with is sort of this middle part. This song, one of the things about my songwriting is I allow it to completely flow, and so I'll go into territories of kind of song genres that I'm completely unfamiliar with. Over and over and over again, just because it's what I do, and so this song is very much kind of in the vein of Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett and these singers. They were song interpreters, songs written in the 50s and 60s that have a completely different form, and so there's really this is sort of the bridge-like place, but it's not really a bridge in that there's no chorus in this song. There's one of these intro things that kind of introduces it thematically, but it's a very different kind of song just in terms of the structure. And so there's that I'm dealing with, but there's also this word in this section of the song. So it's the higher section. It brings me up to an E. And as we've talked about in the other videos, it's really the F sharp and G place up in here that's really the tough spot for me. But this E note, and also the E vowel, which is the harder vowel for me, this is all sort of up in this range. And so I'm actually just going to work a little bit now right here on camera so that you have a sense of what I'm talking about in terms of being willing to fail and fail big. And then we've got the words right here because I'm not even really sure what they are. The fear that ignites my desire can start to subside, with the pain in your face that is stained by the tears you have cried. And I think I'm going to actually work that. A little earlier I thought about, actually, to be completely candid, yesterday I was thinking about this melody line and thinking about actually going up to the E with the fear, and then coming down and kind of maybe creating a little bit more complex melody. And I tried it a little bit about 15 minutes ago for the first time not actually having it in my head, but actually trying it out. So I'm going to try that now again. So what I'm going to be doing is, so the fear that ignites my desire, I'm going to mess with that melody a little bit. So the fear that ignites my desire can start to subside with the pain in your face that is stained by the tears you have cried, and the joy that you feel once again as you start to let me in. Replace all the worry and desperate plans you have tried. So those notes down in that range are easy for me. And as you know, as you might notice, this is not a that kind of bluesy feel. This is very kind of straight feel for me, which is something that I've done before, but I don't have a lot of the songs that I've written kind of in that place recently. So you see, I'm just trying this. I'm throwing it out and seeing how it feels and how it works. I'm kind of, as I've talked about with my voice teacher, actually, that one of the things that I do when I'm working on a song is I'm kind of finding the road that I travel in the song melodically, and it's something that I have to figure out as I write the song and as it comes out. It's not something that's just about the melody. The melody is part of that road, but there's also sort of the range within which I sing in the context of a song. So like in a different kind of song, like Love Me Like You Oughta, this is another song. There are times when I don't act like I used to, and there are times when I can't see right from wrong. Oh yeah, and there are times when the only soul that I'm searching is the one that says that I'm already gone. So that's clearly a completely different kind of stylistic song, but the basic, there are times when I don't act like I used to, that's the basic melody, but then around it I would throw in times when I don't act like I used to, yeah. Which is also part of that road, but it's these are sort of like side trails, places that I'll go spontaneously in the moment of the song. That I won't always do in the kind of the context of the jazz tradition. I'll never sing that again that same way. It's part of what I like about songwriting and composition and song interpretation. But this again, the road for this, outside from the basic melody, is generally untouched. Like for example, thematically, this song's based on a metaphor of a touch-me-not flower, which I don't know if you know this or not, but the touch-me-not flower is this gorgeous kind of orchidy, red-orange little flower, and in the fall, or also midsummer, when it's matured, if you touch the flower, it actually explodes and it sprays out the seeds. But I'm using that sort of fragility and that explosive response as a metaphor for a relationship, and a relationship between this person and this kind of socially anxious other person that he's trying to get into a relationship with. And so this is there's the intro, but this is the first part where the theme kind of really comes in. Touch me not, don't you see? See, I don't even know how to play it yet. Touch me not, don't you see? You mean all of the world to me. Is there nothing that I can be to protect you and keep you from harm? See, I don't know how to play it. But I'm working on it. And using this as an example of being willing to, right here on camera, in this video that I'm going to share publicly, that anybody can watch, to show how it's really important to be willing to screw up. Now, obviously, we screw up. There's things that we practice, things we rehearse. Stuff happens behind closed doors. But even in that context, the willingness to go beyond what you actually know you can do is really, really important in the evolution of, certainly has been extremely important for me in the evolution of my singing, because if I hadn't been willing to push in those directions, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm able to do right now that I'm really excited about. And so I'm gonna sign off for now. I'm gonna keep working on this song, and hopefully at some point I'll be able to share it with those of you who are interested in its fully formed form. But just want to leave you with this thought that really the willingness to fail big and to screw up and to go to those places that are beyond what you're sure you can do, to then evolve into a person that can actually do those things. This is a practice that I've taken up in my own life very powerfully, that I've kind of shown you here today in this early evolution of this song, called Touch Me Not, by the way, that will hopefully be a part of some CD in the future. It is an example to apply to life, of pushing ourselves past what we think we can do with a willingness, to really go for it in those places, and not just kind of ease our way into it, kind of tiptoeing, figuring things out so we can make sure that we never screw up. Screwing up is extraordinarily important, and so I'm happy to have screwed up for you today, and look forward to screwing up again in the future. My contact information's at the end of the video. Please be in touch and let me know what you think about these videos and how you're going in your own life and experience, and I'll talk to you next week.